As the weather changes, unfortunately, that also means that we get more viruses in the air. So I think we all know about the dreaded coronavirus that's circulating right now, especially the BA.5 variant seems to be super contagious. So this is just where, again, we exercise precaution. I think the single most important thing that families can do is get their kids vaccinated, get your family vaccinated, because that's going to prevent severe illness. So I think that's kind of like first and foremost, probably the most important thing we can do. And then some of the other viruses that usually come out as the weather gets a little bit colder, things like RSV, there's also rhinovirus. There's also other types of coronaviruses that can cause the common cold as well. And so these viruses, unfortunately, are everywhere. And, unfortunately, they can make you sick at just about any time.
All right. So while the kids are at school,
Mhm.
let's say you test them, they're negative for COVID,
Mhm.
and they just have a little bit of a cold, they want to go to school. Is
Yep.
it wise to send them to school if they have a stuffy nose that doesn't end up being COVID?
Right. So I think right now, one of the biggest things we're trying to figure out is the difference between a common cold and then also seasonal allergies, which I know the fall allergies, some of the pollen counts have been a little bit higher than usual. So that's one thing we want to try to differentiate between two is this a common cold or is this seasonal allergies? A good way to look at that are some of your symptoms. So if your child has a really high fever, chills, night sweats, those types of things definitely have them stay at home. If they're on any fever reducing medications, things like Tylenol or ibuprofen, would definitely be some other good reasons to stay at home. If you do think that your child has seasonal allergies with just some sneezing, that would be a reason why when they could go to school. But really, I think that the biggest thing is, just trying to have a little bit of personal responsibility towards, your friends and your peers. We say this at our office all the time. If you're sick, please stay home. Just so that we don't infect others at the workplace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about just like basic hygiene stuff that you should probably
Sure.
be going over with your kids as well? I mean, is wearing a little mask maybe something
Mhm.
that we might add into that mix if they do have the seasonal allergies and they're sneezing?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that I try to tell my kids, not only my kids, but also, the kids that we see in the office, is frequent hand washing can be a really powerful tool. And so the biggest mistake that I'll see with the hand washing is one is not washing enough, and then two, not washing for long enough too. So usually I'll encourage kids to sing a full alphabet, make sure they get their hands nice and really lathered up. If they are unable to do hand washing at a sink, which you can also use as some hand sanitizer as well. But yeah, as far as other ways of preventing it, absolutely, mask wearing has been proven to be safe and effective ways of preventing spread of disease. I know that's been a challenge for some kids as well. So, especially as we move through the winter months for coronavirus, we'll kind of probably have to look at, what are our positivity rates? What are some of the other things some of the other variables that'll help us kind of determine if we'll have to go back to wearing masks in schools?
Okay, so obviously, a level of vaccination depends on the grade year, but
Mhm.
as far as COVID goes, what is fully vaccinated for a child right now?
Right. So usually what we recommend is 2 doses of either of the mRNA products, so either the Pfizer or the Moderna. One thing I'm really excited about, though, are the boosters that are coming out. So I think that the CDC's definition currently is fully vaccinated as if you've had those 2 primary doses. What some of these newer boosters that are coming out, what they're going to do is they're going to provide immunity to some of the newer, way more contagious variants, specifically the BA.4 and the BA.5 variants, which seem to be the predominant strains right now circulating across America. Unfortunately, I did get the BA.5 variant, I believe, just a week ago, and it knocked me down pretty good. I was kind of bummed because the booster had just come out this week that I could have gotten. So I'll have to wait a full 90 days before I can get that booster. But that's really the biggest thing is I encourage families to do, is to get your kids vaccinated. There's so many studies that have proven these vaccines are safe, they're effective, and they're going to prevent severe illness, especially if your kids have breathing problems, things like asthma, allergies, or any other underlying lung problems as well. These vaccines can really help protect your kids.
Okay, when kids and families go to get their flu shots this year, is that something that they can combine?
Absolutely. And we encourage families, parents, kids, everybody to get their flu shot and COVID booster on the same day. if they're able to. I know our office, we have the flu shots in stock right now, and it's unfortunately we're heading into that flu season as well. And most of the time, the past couple of years, our flu shots have actually done a really good job of covering for the predicted flu strains that we think that are coming. I'm really excited. I'll actually probably get my flu shot here next week as well. And ahead of flu season, one of the most important things you can do there.
Okay, and even beyond that, if you have to keep your kid home because they are on the fever reducing meds and they're running a fever, at what point should you be taking them in to see their pediatrician or family medicine doctor?
Right. So I think if you have access to home testing for coronavirus, I think that's going to be the first line thing that I would recommend at this time. If you're having fevers, chills, cough, that would be the first thing to do. The biggest thing, especially in kids, if they're struggling with breathing, if they can't keep liquids, if they're not eating or drinking, those are some really big warning signs to maybe even go to the emergency department, especially with struggling with breathing. And then, if kids are, coughing, sneezing, or if you're unsure about what the diagnosis might be, that would be another really good reason to either go see your family doctor or to go see your pediatrician. And then we can kind of help differentiate and make those diagnoses for you, so you're not relying on Dr. Google to help you out with that. So, that's one thing, especially now in our office, we offer telehealth appointments. I know all the systems here in Columbus, Ohio are offering telehealth as well. So there's a lot of really good ways of getting direct care as you need it.
Awesome. Anything else that you'd like to add that I may not have asked you?
No, I think it's great. I mean, I think, for kids, just be respectful of one another. I mean, I think, we're all being asked a lot right now, especially as we're working our way towards the tail end of this pandemic. So keep washing your hands. If you are sick, and you are out in public, please wear a face mask to protect those around you, and keep getting vaccinated. I mean, I think that is the single most important thing that parents and family members can do for not only their kids, but their families, is get these COVID boosters that are coming out, get your flu shots, and we'll get through this winter here together.